Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back for the ABCs of Horror Challenge with my review of Killer Tongue. The ABCs of Horror is a challenge in which we go from A to Z. With each letter of the alphabet, we choose a horror movie that begins with that letter. Watch it and review it. We must go in order, and we cannot skip any letters. I've arrived at K, and K is for Killer Tongue. The first thing I need to say is this is one of the craziest movies I have ever seen. It's absolute insanity from start to finish. This here is my VHS release of Killer Tongue from Apex Entertainment. This one does have sort of a cult following. I've always heard pretty good things. I never expected it to be as wacky as it is. The best way I can describe it is John Waters meets sci-fi horror. Even that doesn't feel accurate. Killer Tongue is one of a kind. Released in 1996, the movie stars Melinda Clarke, who I have loved ever since I first saw her in Return of the Living Dead 3. Robert Englund and Doug Bradley also star in Killer Tongue. Bruce Campbell was originally cast as well, but had to back out due to a scheduling conflict. Imagine if he was able to stay on. Not only would we have had Freddy Krueger and Pinhead in the same film, but Ash Williams, too. Melinda Clarke plays Candy, who, along with her boyfriend Johnny, have just completed a heist. By the way, Johnny was the intended role for Bruce Campbell. Johnny winds up doing prison time, while Candy hides out at a gas station in the desert. She disguises herself as a nun at the nearby convent, and the nuns also work at the gas station, by the way. After 4 years, Candy finally receives a letter from Johnny that he'll be getting out. He has a plan to escape, but it won't be easy. Robert Englund plays the prison director. Doug Bradley is another inmate. His name is Wig, because, well, he wears a wig. Excited by the news that Johnny will finally be returning to her, Candy drops her habits and waits it out at the gas station. She also has 4 poodles to keep her company, some of which are pastel-colored. I don't know why, they just are. Like I said, this movie is bizarre. One day, while eating with her poodles, a meteorite crash lands on Earth, not far from the gas station. Upon impact, some of the particles get in the food, and Candy finds herself transformed. She goes from a hot, straight-haired blonde to a hot, curly-haired brunette. Her body turns to a black tar color. Essentially, at this point, she spends the rest of the movie looking like she's wearing body paint. I'm not complaining. No, no, no. Of course, the one thing I left out is the most important. Candy has also grown a killer tongue. Her tongue is like a super long tentacle, and it even grows fingers. It talks to Candy, impregnates Candy, and, well, does some other things to her. Let's just say she learns what a good tongue can do. And yes, I'm sure the fingers play a big role in that as well. Now, if you think that's strange, there's more. Candy's poodles were also infected by the meteorite, and they transform into drag queens. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. Now, Candy's poodle human drag queens do her bidding. They find victims to feed her killer tongue. Meanwhile, Johnny makes his escape and has the prison director, played by Robert Englund, on his tail. No, Johnny doesn't have an actual tail, although it probably wouldn't be surprising in a film like this. Robert Englund and his men are simply out to recapture Johnny. At the same time, a mute nun leaves the convent. She had visions of the meteorite and believes that Candy is the devil. I should also mention those who come in contact with the glowing space particle throughout the film explode. Literally, blow up. Body fragments everywhere. Blown to bits. It's wild. Eventually, all of these crazy characters will cross paths as Candy continues to feed her killer tongue. I feel like I just described a weird dream to everyone. I can only imagine this is what an acid trip is like. Imagine watching this under the influence of alcohol or whatever else. Wow. Watching it sober was trippy enough. I almost felt like it wasn't real. Melinda Clarke is beautiful as always, as Candy, even with that killer tongue. Robert Englund is so over-the-top entertaining in his role. I really like Wig, Doug Bradley's character, and Rita, the mute nun, was beautiful herself. I still can't wrap my head around the poodle drag queens. I have to admit, however, they were entertaining. The effects are really cool. I love the look of the killer tongue. The way he moves his fingers when he talks. His voice cracked me up. And the exploding effects were really fun too. The death scenes are gory and graphic. The killer tongue penetrates skulls and even decapitates victims. I gotta give Killer Tongue credit for being original. If you want something different, well, here you go. In the end, I found myself wondering, what did I just watch? I recommend it for its absolute insanity alone. In this one, crazy starts with K for Killer Tongue. Please be sure to support everyone else participating in the ABCs of horror. If you'd like to join in, please feel free. You can complete this challenge at your own pace. Just start with A. Go in order and do not skip any letters. And make sure the movies you watch and review are horror. Have you seen Killer Tongue? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Which horror movie beginning with the letter L will I review for the ABCs of horror? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.